What's going on, everybody? Tom Quiet here, live and amplified. And this video is a little bit different. I did something like this a few weeks ago, kind of giving my top 10 tips on how to promote your music and how to get a number one hit with no money or whatever it is I called it. And I got a lot of questions over the last few weeks since I released that video. Most of them kind of gearing around the fact of, Tom, how do I start? How do I get into music? Or how do I become a musician? Or I play music, but how do I make that jump into starting professionally? Or where do I start to, start getting my music out there? And so it took me back to a conversation I had with a kid back in 2020, like hardcore COVID times. It was Christmas 2020. I was doing this thing where I gave out my phone number to people and said, hey, if you have any questions or you ever just need to talk, reach out. I'm here for you. And I had this kid reaching out and he was like, yo, I'm 17, about to turn 18. I'm about to graduate high school. I want to be a musician. What should I do? Like, what should I do? Like, how should I go about this? And so that kind of situation sparked this idea for this video. And I'm going to just kind of walk you through. If you are a young kid that wants to be in the music business, internet and all, it's a great way to get yourself out there, promote and all that stuff. But there's one tried and true way that'll really set you apart, that'll really show if you have what it takes to be in the music business and music industry, be a musician. If you can do this, you can do anything. And we're going to jump right into it right now. So it is currently middle of September. And if you are in America or anywhere in the world, you probably just started school. And if you're 17, 18 years old, you're in your final year of high school, this will be the best time to put this into practice. And I mean, honestly, anybody of any age could probably make this work as long as, you don't have a whole bunch of obligations at the house or whatever. But this is the one thing that I see as a real opportunity for young musicians to kind of get out there and make a name for themselves. And it's simple as this. It's a super simple, strategy, thought process, but I'll kind of dive in deeper on it. Just hit the road, get out, start playing shows. And so the way I would approach it, it is currently September 16th when I'm recording this. You have roughly 8 months before the end of the school year. If my math is correct, you have about 8 months before school ends, before you graduate. If you're 17, going on to 18, and you're in your senior year of high school, you have 8 months to prepare. So what I would start doing is put everything else aside. Do the bare minimum of what you got to do to graduate, do your schoolwork, pass your tests, do whatever it is you got to graduate. But whenever you have free time, whenever you are free, and instead of going out drinking, partying, hanging out with friends, whatever, put your nose to the grindstone, start working, work any job you can, save every penny you can. Like, just if you got a minimum wage job and you're making $7.50 an hour or whatever minimum wage is nowadays, put everything you can away. Pay for as little as you can. Save all the money in the world. And when you're not working or going to school, start writing music. Just keep writing music, going out, perform. Whether it's busking on the street corner or going to a cafe or whatever it is, for the next 8 months to prepare for the big trip that I'm about to lay on you, you need to get your schoolwork done, do whatever it is you need to graduate, work as much as possible, save as much money as possible, make that money, save that money, and then be honing your craft, practicing as a musician. Whatever kind of music it is, whether you're a solo acoustic act, whether you're a country act, rock act, whatever it is, be honing that craft. And so throughout the 8 months, hopefully you can get a couple $1,000s saved up, working minimum wage job, 20 hours a week. You should be able to get a couple $1,000s saved up. And that'll be a good start for what I'm about to tell you. So the best way to get started and find out if you're meant to be a musician is once you've taken these 8 months, saved your money, honed your craft, graduated, the day after graduation, hit the road. Jump in your car, take your money, your guitar, or violin, or whatever it is, and hit the road. And just keep on driving. Go to one town, start performing, whether it's just busking on the street corner, whether it's, if there's an open mic in that town, and just keep going. Keep driving every day, go to a different town, go to a different city, state, whatever it is, until you get to where you want to go. There's two outcomes that are going to come from this. So what you're going to do is you're going to just keep driving every day, play at a different city, town, state, location, whatever it is, just keep playing. Get yourself out in front of new people. So let's say, for transparency's sake, you live out on the East Coast, right? Just start driving south, drive down to Florida, and every night, once you've been driving for a few hours and you're in a new area, find a place, whether it has an open mic or you can busk or whatever it is, just kind of drive for a few hours, get outside of town, busk, play a show. Find a place to crash, whether it's a Walmart parking lot or a rest area or whatever it is. You want to save as much money as you can. You want to play as much as you can. You want to get out in front of new crowds as much as you can. So you're going to take that $1,000, try and spread it out as much as you can, and get as far as you can. And one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to find yourself halfway across the country and the music thing just isn't working. Head back home. You can go back, if say you're out there for a year and you don't feel like you're at where you want to be, you can always go back to school. That's always an option. But let's say, on the other hand, you're out there for a year and you're starting to pick up traction and you're starting getting paying gigs and just all these things. That opportunity to play in front of new people every night. And that's the big thing, is you're a young musician, get yourself out playing in front of new people every night. So that is why, no matter where you're at, just pick a direction, start driving, and after driving for a few hours, start playing, whether it's busking, open mic, whatever it is, just start playing. Don't worry about trying to get paid. Don't worry about trying to draw a crowd. Just start playing. People will find you if they really connect with your music. So that's kind of the best way I've seen work. If you are a young person getting ready to graduate and you want to really see if you're cut out to make it as a musician, hit the road. Find out what you're made of. Get out in front of a new crowd every night. Don't worry about making money. Don't worry about drawing a crowd. Get out and play. Get out and play. That's the best way I can do it. Get out and play in front of a new crowd every night. I know I'm being very repetitive and kind of all over the place, but the gist of the story, get out, play in front of a new crowd every night. I'm going to say that again. Get out, play in front of a new crowd every night. And you're going to go until you're broke and you got to come home and go back to school or whatever it is, or you're going to keep going until you get to where you want to be. Either way, you're going to find out real quick if you can hack it. And I know there's a lot of kids saying, but I don't want to rough it like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. Well, then you're not going to be a you already don't have what it takes. Like, if you can't sacrifice and go after this dream, if you can't sacrifice, make a little bit of a sacrifice now, and just see if you've got it. Like that's what it is, and I know there's some kids out there that say, well, my parents want me to go to school. My parents want me to do this. And I understand. I understand your parents want you to go to school. but you're 18 years old, if you take a year or two off, it is not going to kill you. If you take a year or two off to travel across the country to see if this music thing is for you, and let's say when you turn 20, the music thing doesn't pan out, guess what? You can go back to school, and by the time you graduate, you're only 24. Like, I didn't graduate college until I was 25. So, it's just one of those things where it's not a big deal. And we just kind of, you're going to take those opportunities and you're going to take those lessons of life on the road, because lessons are going to come. You're probably going to get robbed. You're probably going to break down. You're probably going to run into sketchy situations. But all those negative situations that are going to happen are going to be met with some of the best experiences of your life. Some of the best people you're going to meet. Some of the best stories you're going to have. Some of the best musical experiences of your life will happen if you just let yourself run free and go after your dream. So I'm going to cut it right there. Hopefully y'all kind of understand where I'm going with this. If you're a young musician and you're graduating in May from high school, start saving now. Save up as much money as you can to give yourself a good head start. You don't want to go out there with no money because that's just stupid. Save up as much money as you can until you graduate. Then hit the road. Start playing. Share your music. Get out in front of new people. Just start driving. And if you have a final destination in mind, like let's say you're out in, I don't know, in Oregon somewhere, but you want to be a Nashville musician, set Nashville as your final destination. And, by the time you take a road trip and you start playing and you do all this stuff and you make it to Nashville and you're able to survive in Nashville, cool. Guess what? There's a lot of musicians in Nashville that are surviving just playing shows at the local pub, the local bar, the local whatever. There's a lot of really good musicians in Nashville, and you'll make a lot of connections. Or if you want to go to Austin or New York or Chicago or wherever it is you want to go, set that as your final destination. And just hit the road. Get out there. Start playing in front of new people every night. But once again, my name's Tom Quiet. I'm glad y'all stopped by to listen to me kind of ramble on here for about 12 minutes. Until next time, I'll see y'all later.